Hello, everybody, and welcome to From the Mezzanine. From the Mezzanine is the Broadway podcast for the Broadway fans, where we talk about all things Broadway news, Broadway grosses, and let's be honest, all of the tea and gossip that happens week to week in the Broadway stratosphere. Hello, everybody. I am your host, Lindsey Stone, and welcome to this week's episode. Boy, oh boy, do we have so much ground to cover this week. I know y'all have likely seen on my socials, shout out on Instagram and TikTok. Go follow me if you are not already. On TikTok, I am Lindsey Stone _Broadway. And on Instagram, I am From the Mezzanine podcast. You can find the links all in the show notes below. But y'all, you've likely seen that I attended the Chita Rivera Awards just a few days ago, and I got to speak to people like Shoshana Bean and Norm Lewis. Corbin Bleu was inches away from me, although I didn't get to speak with him. I looked at him face to face, and it was insane, and I will get to that shortly. But before we talk about the incredible, life-changing night that was the Chita Rivera Awards, I've got to tell y'all about the Roger Rees Awards, which I went to just the day before. This was such a unique opportunity that I was invited to go to. Basically, it is the awards ceremony that's kind of the prelim to the Jimmys for the New York regional area. So hundreds of students in the New York school system have auditioned to participate and compete in the Jimmy Awards. But one step before that is the Roger Rees Awards. And so they had whittled down all of the auditioners down to 50. And so the top 50 were at the awards. And then at the awards ceremony itself, they whittled it down to the top 12. And then we picked our final two who are representing the New York region at the Jimmy Awards. And when I say these students were unbelievably talented, I mean it. Oh my gosh, I was floored, completely floored by their talent. And it was just so amazing to be able to sit in the theater with their family and their friends. And it really gave me, PTSD is a very strong word, but it gave me like waves of nostalgia to having that feeling myself. I remember being in a high school setting, competing in a theatrical environment, and the pressure I put on myself, the pressure that was in the room, and all of the competitive energy, and the way that theater kids just can't do anything without going full out. Like, we put our heart and soul and put a lot of pressure on ourselves to do amazingly. And I knew so many of those students on stage. I knew how they felt. And it was like, oh, I feel you. Like, it's okay. You're so talented. Even if you didn't make the top 12, and even of the top 12, when the judges deliberated, I was like, I have no idea how they're going to whittle it down. It was really interesting the way that they did it. So the top 12 all sang one song, and it seemed as though that song was from their high school's production of the year. So two girls sang the same song. They sang Waiting from the Addams Family. And then one kid sang Giants in the Sky, and he was incredible. And I shouldn't call them kids. They're not kids. They're high schoolers. But I was just floored. And the two who won, let me give them a shout out. Their names are Isaiah Baston and Ashley Ficarino. I am going to be rooting for them so hard this Jimmy season. Last year, we watched, Alex and I, friend of the pod, Alex, we watched the Jimmys biting our nails. We watched every video. We reenacted the videos on TikTok. I think I've probably taken them down because they were so crazy, but we were so into the Jimmys. And so to have gotten this opportunity this year, I was like, no way am I turning down the Roger Rees Awards. And I could quite possibly be seeing the next Jimmy winner. It's cool. They honored Andrew Barth Feldman there because he won the Roger Rees Award before he went and did the Jimmys, because he competed in the New York region. And a lot of them were definitely recognizable who have won the Roger Rees Award before. Congratulations to those incredibly talented students. I know so many of them are going to be on Broadway in the blink of an eye. And it was hosted by Bonnie Milligan, which it was great to see her again. Literally love Aunt Deborah, and she's such a good host. I've now seen her, I think, at 2 hosting gigs, and I'm like, can she be the officiant of my wedding? Hey, Bonnie. Hey, Bonnie, will you please be the officiant of my wedding? I think you would do an amazing job. And you can even do some crazy jokes in there. I mean, all the jokes are welcome. Anyways, that was such a cool opportunity to go to the Roger Rees Awards. And I cannot wait for the Jimmys now. It just got me all the more like thrilled and pumped for Jimmy's season. Next, we have to talk about the Chita Rivera Awards. I was invited to do the red carpet and represent for From the Mezzanine. And this is the first opportunity that I've had like that. And guys, next week is our 100th episode of From the Mezzanine. And it just feels like this is all happening right now because I'm like passing this finish line in a sense. And things are just really like starting to turn into something bigger. And I felt like that so many times while doing this podcast. Like the first time I got invited to go see a show, and it's always just like a sense of like confirmation of, yeah, what I'm doing, I'm working towards what I like, my goal for this podcast. And so this was a huge step in reaching that goal. And y'all probably could tell last week on the episode, we recorded that on like Saturday. And so the day before I had gotten the opportunity to do the carpet. And all weekend I spent milling over, what am I going to wear? What am I going to ask? Trying to memorize every single person that was on the press sheet. And there was a lot to learn because the Chita Rivera Awards, they are a night honoring dance in all sorts of capacities on film, stage, screen. They honor documentaries and films and Broadway shows, of course. And it's really, really a night to focus on the dancers, which is something that isn't done often. It's always the stars of the show. And meanwhile, the Chita Rivera Awards, it's really a focus on the ensembles, which was so cool. So I was trying to memorize the names of every single person in all of the ensembles that were nominated. So everybody from Illinois, Gabby Diaz, Ben Cook, Ricky Ubeda. I was memorizing all of them. I memorized every Outsiders ensemble member, Barton, Tilly, Melody Rose, Sarah Grace. Like I was like, if I see them on the carpet, I want to recognize them and know who they are, know what show they're in. And it'll also just give me like a lot of confidence of, you know, how to navigate this hectic environment. And when I tell y'all, it was so hectic. So basically the carpet lasted for an entire hour and people were just being shoveled through, and just it was crazy because while I would be interviewing somebody, people would be walking behind me and I would be like, who's walking behind me? Am I missing an opportunity? But also I need to focus on the person that I'm interviewing. It was so much, and it was so freaking awesome. And I hope y'all have seen the video on Instagram that is like somewhat going viral right now. As I'm recording this, it has like 135K views. The video of Bernadette Peters completely video bombing my interview with the Water for Elephants choreographers Jesse Robb and Shayna Carroll. And Bernadette Peters, I'm asking them a question and Jesse's responding, and Bernadette just clear walks into the shot, stands there, and she obviously thinks the person who's standing next to me is utilizing my camera for his interview. And so she's like, where do I look? And then she eventually like leaves the frame, but it is so funny. And it is like doing crazy numbers on Instagram. If you haven't seen it yet, go see it because it's life-changing. But it was just, there was so much happening. But I have the interviews for you guys here on FTM. I am going to show y'all some amazing interviews. I interview Shoshana Bean, like I mentioned, Lauren Latero, who's the choreographer of Heart of Rock and Roll and the Who's Tommy. I interview Ali, who is the lead in the Who's Tommy. Norm Lewis. I do the Dougie with Norm Lewis. So let's move it on over to the interviews. Enjoy, y'all. Hi, everybody. We're here at the Chita Rivera Awards from the Mezzanine, a Broadway podcast at the Chita Rivera Awards. Let's meet some of the nominees and future winners.
Hi, I am here with Ali Lewis-Borsky of The Who's Tommy. Ali, how are you feeling tonight at the Chita Rivera Awards?
I'm super excited. We're going to perform a number, and we get to celebrate Lauren Lataro and the incredible ensemble of dancers, and they deserve literally the world with
Yes.
how amazing they are.
And how would you say that the story of The Who's Tommy is told through the choreography?
I mean, every single second is kind of a movement piece. There's only like a couple moments of the show for like a few seconds where the dancers aren't like, even if the dancers aren't doing a full dance break, they're in like full puppetry, like blacks, and moving set pieces, or like holding a prop and like being the like movement aspect of that prop, or lifting me.
Yeah.
I mean, so much of the show is just like picking me up and flying me. So like the ensemble carries this entire show literally. And they're nonstop, and they set the tone of each scene. Like they'll be in the background, and it's like whatever like movement pattern they're doing will be like, we'll tell you whether like we're on the edge of danger, or if something's like chill, or it's just, they're telling the story.
Excellent. Do you have a favorite number in the show?
I love to sing I'm Free, but my favorite dance number is probably the whole prologue. The very beginning of the show is all told strictly through movement. There's no dialogue or even singing for like the first 15 minutes. And that's my favorite part. It is so cool how you can get a very clear story just based on like the lighting, and then how the dancers are like telling it through movement. That's really cool.
Amazing. How about a few rapid fire questions?
Sure.
Okay, let's do it. What is your favorite era of dance?
I mean, I grew up watching a lot of Gene Kelly and like that kind of era of dance, Jerome Robbins, like just all of that kind of balletic, mixing ballet with kind of like a danger, like that West Side Story kind of sharpness. Yeah.
Absolutely. Who is your dance inspiration?
I'd probably say Gene Kelly, yeah.
I had a feeling a couple would say that tonight. What is your favorite show that you've been in?
The Band's Visit.
Yeah. And what is a show that you would like to be in?
I'd love to do a version of The Last 5 Years at some point. That'd be really cool. I love that.
Obsessed. Okay, and what is your go-to move?
My go-to move?
Yeah.
Usually just like a little like turn like that. I would do it, but I'm gonna hurt you.
we're short on space.
Yeah.
A little turn.
A little-
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Oh, whoa. Hi. How you doing?
Hi, I'm here with Norm Lewis. Norm, how are you feeling being here at the Chita Rivera Awards?
Well, I feel like, when you think of Chita Rivera and dance, you also think of Norm Lewis. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. No, but no.
He's onto something.
Truly. No, she's someone who I've admired for many years, movies, television, theater. And it's over the years when I moved here, she became a friend. And so it's such an honor to be at something that's celebrating who she is. She was such, not only an amazing person, but just an amazing talent. And you strive to be what she was. So yeah, it's great. And then we're here also honoring Hit and Battle, which is part of what I'm going to be doing tonight as well.
Wow, that is so exciting. Norm, is there a show that you saw this season that just stood out to you in terms of choreography?
You know what? I will say I loved, and so sad that it's closing, or has closed, is Limpika. I really had a great time. And there's many shows. The Wiz had great choreography. There's so many great, talented people in this season. And I haven't seen everything just yet. But I will say that I was talking to somebody yesterday talking about how much talent there is on this stage. Whether you like the show or you didn't like the show, you can't take away the talent.
Not at all. And the choreography, oh my gosh, of every single show is
Right.
absolutely stellar. Is there a performer, aside from the legendary Chita Rivera, that has inspired you?
Yeah, I will say Hit and Battle is one of those people. Also, Vanessa Williams, she's such a great. She took over for Cheetah in Kiss of the Spider Woman. Stephanie Pope, who's also in the show tonight. There's just so many crazily talented people that are in here who have actually become friends, which has been great.
That's excellent. How about a few rapid fire questions?
Okay, sure.
Okay, what is your favorite era of dance?
Era of dance.
Yes.
Oh God, I would say the 70s. Yeah, it was like Soul Train, yeah,
I
come on.
like
Yeah.
it. Who is your dance inspiration?
Who is my dance inspiration?
Yeah.
Besides Chita Rivera and Hit and Battle, I would say, you know what? I did the Who's Tommy on Broadway. It was my first Broadway show, who's also performing tonight. Wayne Salento, being such an amazing choreographer, But then I went back and did research on him, and he was such a phenomenal dancer. So Wayne Sellington.
Great. What is your favorite show that you have been in?
Oh, God. You know what? I can't answer that in a direct way. What I will say, they're like children. You don't love one more than the other. Even the ones that didn't last that long, I took something from that and became the performer I am.
Okay, how about this? What is a show that you would love to be in?
Oh, God. Ooh.
Like your dream character.
You know, I've done a lot of my dream roles, so that's hard to say.
Subtle flex.
Okay, let's say Hamilton. Yeah.
Hamilton!
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, last question. What is your go-to move?
My go-to move?
That's right.
There's a dance called the Dougie that I just go to, and I'm pretty good at that. But I need music.
Taste?
I need music.
Teach me how to Dougie. Teach me how to Dougie. Dougieing with Norm Lewis. Check it off my bucket list. Thank you, Norm.
Thank you.
I
Nice to
appreciate
meet
it.
you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Hi, my name is Maite Natalio, choreographer of How to Dance in Ohio and Subs. This is my debut Broadway season as a choreographer.
Oh my gosh, so exciting and such iconic shows, both so unique in their own. How would you say that the story of Suffs is told through the choreography?
Well, the one thing I challenge myself with Subs is like, how would these women move if they were in these corsets? Like, what's inside of them? Like, that's kind of the vibe. Also, a lot of it is rooted in like modern dance, contemporary, and modern dance actually originated in the early 1900s, the same time as Suffs, and where women were trying to break out of like the corsets and tutus and point shoes. So there's also that correlation of like there was actually a dance movement happening at the same time as this movement. So I snuck that in as well.
That is so creative. I absolutely love that. And I obviously have to ask you about How to Dance in Ohio. What an incredible show. How is the story of How to Dance told through the choreography?
I mean, you know, this is a story about 7 autistic young adults. And so, you know, there's a lot of ways that an autistic person moves through the world that's slightly different than ours, right? Sometimes they're very linear and can be very like need order, but sometimes when that order is shifted, it can feel a little chaotic. So using that kind of energy, like when were we in straight lines, when were we circular, when were we out of order, I use that energy to like, that's just a lot of walking patterns in How to Dance in Ohio.
Wow, I'm stunned. I have chills. That's so creative. And that certainly came through in the choreography of that show. How about a few rapid fire questions? What is your favorite era of dance?
The 70s.
Yeah, the 70s.
Full out.
Norm said the same thing with the Soul Train. I love it. Who is your dance inspiration?
Well, Cheetah's one and Debbie Allen, for sure.
I love that. Debbie, who is here tonight. What is your favorite show? If you can pick a favorite, I know they're probably like your children, that you have done.
Oh, well, I gotta say, that's hard. But right now, because it's still open, I think Sauce. I feel like it's those women are up there going for it every single night and pouring their hearts out. Yeah.
They're so incredible. And what is a show that you would like to choreograph for?
Ooh, there's so many. I want like a big dance show, like a chorus line or something that I can like really like do some crazy dance breaks.
Yeah, absolutely. What is your favorite number in Suffs?
Fire and Tea.
Yeah, I love it. And what is your go-to move?
Probably like a deep contraction.
Oh, wait. As not a dancer, I don't know what that is.
Contraction and down in the plie.
Oh, okay, nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I am here with Tilly Evans-Krueger, who is in The Outsiders. Tilly, how does it feel to be nominated tonight?
Oh my God. It's like the best feeling ever. Like, it's something that I never thought that I would experience, especially as a dancer, because there's not many awards for us. So it is an honor to be nominated among my peers who I've looked up to and have been inspired by for so many years. Yeah.
And how would you say that the story of The Outsiders is told through the choreography?
Oh my gosh. So this is all like a memory play of Ponyboy's memory. And so I think when there's realism, obviously, but then there is dreamlike states, and the violence is actually portrayed in this way of like slowing things down or making them way bigger in his mind, way bigger on stage than maybe it was in reality. So being able to bend reality has been really so awesome to use movement through.
Yes, and I have such a specific question, but it's because I'm such a fan of the show. The dance is so different between the greasers and the Soches. How is that working out the differentiation between the two groups?
Yeah. That's a really good question. So I stayed away from the Soch side.
She's a greaser girl.
Yeah. And I'm one of the associates on the show. So I feel like the Coopermans really gave both Kristen and I free range to kind of express. And of course, they crafted everything and they did an amazing job. But they allowed me to also have a voice. So I stayed away from the Soch side and I did more of like help with the greaser movement. So all of those rooted things I feel like come from the background that we all have with greaser side. I can't really speak for the Soch side, to be honest.
Okay, how about a few rapid fire questions?
I guess.
Okay, what is your favorite era of dance?
Oh my gosh, probably the 20s.
20s, and who is your dance inspiration?
I would say Camille A. Brown.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, and what is your favorite show that you have been in?
Outsiders, hands down.
Outsiders, easy answer. What is a show that you would love to be in?
Ooh, well, I've been in Illinois and I do want to do that again. And then I've also worked on the workshop of Hell's Kitchen and I'd love to do that again.
Such incredible shows. And Tilly, what is your go-to move?
My go-to move?
Yeah.
Probably a little bit of this.
Ooh, get it. Yeah. Love it, Tilly. Thank you so much. Thank you. I am here with Jesse, Rob, and Shayna Carroll, the choreographers of Water for Elephants. How does it feel to be nominated tonight at the Chita Rivera Awards?
Just such an honor and so humbling and so thrilling and beyond words, really, yeah.
It's just thrilling. We're just a bit in awe that we're in such incredible company this evening.
Yes, so many greats of the season, Water for Elephants certainly included. How would you say that the story of Water for Elephants is told through the choreography?
Well, particularly I would say since our main character had a life in circus, and it's a memory play, that his memory is filtered through this acrobatic dance language. So it's wonderful. It's like it's the voice of his subconscious. So we're able to tell these memories through circus language and have it conflated with the real events of that time. So.
Yes, and I'm curious, what was it like, that pairing of dance and the acrobatics? How was that molding of those two very different styles?
Well, it was wild. I mean, we were just talking a little bit, Shane and myself, about how you find a language that acrobats and dancers and actors and musicians all can collectively, come together and physicalize. And one of the most exciting things for us was that as we kept sort of doing trial and error and throwing spaghetti at a wall, we found this tertiary language that included everybody, and it felt very communal, it felt very exploratory, it felt very risky, and that was very exciting for us.
Excellent. Congratulations on your nomination and good luck tonight.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Thank
for
you so
everything.
much.
Thank you. Did Bernadette Peters run?
Perfect. Play that.
Yeah.
That's the only moment that should really be played.
Just crossed through.
Just forget everything you said and put her in.
At least she made it in the shot.
Correct.
And didn't go behind.
No, I was like,
That's the money shot right there. I am here with Justin Peck, the choreographer of Illinois. Justin, how are you feeling on this wonderful night celebrating dance at the Chita Rivera Awards?
I feel really energized tonight. It's just such an amazing event, celebrating the power of dance as storytelling and getting to celebrate all the other shows of the season. It's been an amazing season.
Excellent. Let's do some rapid fire questions, why don't we? What is your favorite era of dance?
Ooh, the 70s?
Yeah, I love it. And who is your dance inspiration?
Baryshnikov.
Okay. What is your favorite show that you have done?
That I've done? I guess this, Illinois, on Broadway.
Illinois, how could it be anything else? And what is a show that you would like to do in the future?
Oh man, I'd love to do a revival of Evita, I think, off the top of my head.
I love it if we're doing rapid fire, right? And what is your favorite number in Illinois?
I'm going to go with Jacksonville because they're so phenomenal in it. And those two dancers, Rachel Lockhart and Byron Tittle, were nominated for tonight for their performances in that singular number.
Incredible. Thank you so much, Justin.
Thank you.
Hi, I am here with Chloe Davis, nominated tonight for Outstanding Dancer in Hell's Kitchen. Chloe, what does it mean to you to be nominated for a Chita Rivera Award?
I'm just looking around and I'm seeing the buzz. I just saw Debbie Allen go in. I think tonight is just about celebrating dance, the diversity of dance on Broadway, the styles. So I just think this is the beginning of an epic time on Broadway, to be able to share dance in so many levels, so many dynamics, to celebrate Camille Brown's dance, to celebrate Lauren Lataro's dances. It's just, I think that's what Chita would appreciate. When we think about her career, the diversity that she was able to dance, and to see that being represented tonight, I think we hit it. So I'm just honored to be here.
Absolutely. And Camille Brown's choreography is so stunning. How do you feel that the story of Hell's Kitchen is exemplified through the choreography?
Yes, Camille's choreography is dynamic. The polyrhythms, the complexity, it's beautiful. But that we get to celebrate dance in the 90s, that's really close home to me. So to think about doing double dutch on stage, to thinking about doing the WAP, things like that, it's pretty cool.
I love it. How about a few rapid fire questions? You said the 90s, but what is your favorite era of dance?
It's the 90s.
I love it. What is your favorite show that you have been in?
Oh, I want to say it's Hell's Kitchen, but shout out to Paradise Square, because I love that as well. That was my Broadway debut.
Oh my gosh, Paradise Square. I loved that show.
It's close to your heart, so it's like a close tie.
I loved Paradise Square with all my heart. What is a show that you would love to be in the future?
A show that I create.
Now that's the right answer. And what is your go-to move?
Usually I like drop it low.
Drop it low. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Up close with Shoshana Bean. Shoshana, how?
Tic-tac, so you're in luck.
Oh, thank goodness. Shoshana, how are you feeling being here tonight at the Chita Rivera Awards?
Well, I'm super excited. I think it's obviously a special year because we just lost our legend. But also, my show got a lot of noms. Some special people in my life. My Hell's Kitchen family is being acknowledged, which makes this year even more special.
Yes, and how would you say that the story of Hell's Kitchen is told through the choreography?
That is a really hard question to answer. I mean, it's an obvious answer, but I want to be thoughtful and articulate about it. I think that the choreography is its own character, its own force inside of our story. I think that Camille Brown tells a story through movement in a way that I've never experienced, certainly in a musical. She also has this insane ability to capture the essence of an era of the 90s, which is a very dear moment in time for me. She has a way of capturing it without being on the nose. She has an interpretation of it that is nostalgic and pays homage and tips its hat to it, but it isn't hard hitting on the nose like the exact moves and dances we were doing in the 90s. So she is such a visionary in that way, as well as she has this insane ability to cast the most unique, dynamic, singular interpreters of her work. These people are not just dancers, they are storytellers, they are conduits, they are channels. And that is separate from her ability to storytell through movement, is her ability to choose the right storytellers for her movement.
Her choreography is so different than anything that I have seen before. She's remarkable, as are you. As are you. How about a few rapid fire questions?
Okay, I'm nervous.
Okay, let's do. Oh, don't be nervous. What is your favorite era of dance?
I mean, I'm going to say the 90s because it was like my junior high school. And, you know, it was back in the day when we filmed music videos on MTV and BET and we learned the moves, filmed in living color every weekend to get the moves that the Fly Girls were doing. So I'm going to say 90s.
I love it. And who is your performance inspiration?
I'd say my top three are Frank Sinatra, Jennifer Lopez, and Barbra Streisand, all for very different reasons.
I can see why it would be for different reasons. That like runs the gamut of all kinds.
It does, but all three of them have one strong similar thread, which is they never allowed anyone to define them in one specific way. Yep. They insisted on approaching things they were inspired and continue to, both Barbara and J-Lo obviously, continue to approach their artistry in a way that has no bounds and rules and refuses to be defined by any outside source.
Amazing. What is a show in the future that you would love to be in?
I want to be in new works. I don't want to be in anything that exists already. I want to tell new stories and create new characters.
And Hell's Kitchen was a check in the right box for that, wasn't it? It is. What is your favorite number in the show?
My second act song, Pawn It All, is the reason I said yes to this show, and it remains my favorite moment in the show.
I think it's a lot of people's favorite moment, Shoshana. And Shoshana, I have one last question. What is your go-to move? And can we see it?
I think I a little bit like Cabbage Patch It Out. I think that's...
Yeah. I think it's sorry.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And congratulations on your
Thank
Tony
you.
nom.
Thanks, baby. I mean, it was just the best night ever. It does not get more fun than that. It was a pinch me moment in so many freaking ways. And I cannot wait to do it again. I can't wait to do another red carpet. Knock on wood. Hopefully the Tonys start calling. Okay, guys, with that, let's head on in to our Broadway grosses of the week. This is for the week ending on May 19th. And at the top of the list, we have a weema wipe, a weema wipe, a weema wipe, a weema wipe. The Lion King is our number one. A weema wipe. Number 2 is Cabaret. Cabaret is really getting comfortable at that number 2 spot. I think we're going to continue seeing it right there. Hamilton is number 3, meaning that Wicked is bumped down to number 4. We have not seen Wicked at 4 very often at all. Merrily is bumped right back up to 5. Last week, remember, they were kind of further down. Well, they're back where they like to be, right there at number 5. And Hell's Kitchen is number 6. Oh my gosh, you're kidding. Hell's Kitchen is number 6. Congratulations, Hell's Kitchen. That's freaking incredible. Oh my gosh, at $1.5 million last week. That is amazing. Way to go, Hell's Kitchen. And I feel like this is just an indication of what a difference getting the most Tony noms can do for your show. At the end of the day, it's all a business, right? And this goes to show when you've got great marketing like they do have good marketing. Alicia Keys is working hard for her show, as she absolutely should be. But I think it's number 6 because of the Tony noms. Number 7 is MJ. The Wiz is 8. The Great Gatsby is 9. See, look. It's like I just said, okay, your Tony noms got you number 6, and then Gatsby with 1 Tony nom. Come on, that's crazy. They deserved so many more than just 1, but whatever. We're past it. You got to learn to move on. And then you have Great Gatsby at number 9, and they didn't get any. So I will say, Great Gatsby's marketing, though, shout out to the Gatsby marketing team, because out of all the shows on Broadway right now, y'all are doing the most. You're so responsive. And you're incredible. Okay. Aladdin is number 10 to round out our top 10 Broadway grosses. Can we guess, or have we figured out what is not in the top 10 anymore? Give you a second to think. That is right. It is Moulin Rouge. You guessed it. Moulin Rouge is now out of the top 10 because Boy George is no longer in the cast. And that's what it did. And that's what I said last week. I think I said, oh, it'll probably be like 13 or 14. And here it is. It's at 11, which is not bad. But I mean, it's great for Moulin Rouge. Moulin Rouge doesn't need to be making like insane amounts of money. And at 11, they're still making over $1 million in a week. So they're doing fantastic. We're not at all concerned about Moulin Rouge. It's just interesting to see that the second Boy George leaves, how it just instantly bumps down. And that just goes to show what having a Hollywood or well-known pop culture star in your show can really do for it. It can really bump it up. Right there at number 12 is Water for Elephants, which has me pretty dang shook because their capacity is only 84%. That's not great, but they seem to be doing well in terms of grosses. Okay, let's look down a little. Okay, guys. The next musical, Underwater for Elephants, is The Outsiders. Let's go. Oh wait, the cast album came out today, and I've been begging for the cast album, and guess what? I have been singing the one lyric that I sing probably multiple times a day. This ain't Tulsa 1967. Well, guess what? I had the lyric wrong, and nobody told me. This is Tulsa 1967, which makes so much more sense. Why did I think it was this ain't Tulsa? I mean, I like my version better, but it also doesn't make sense because it is Tulsa 1960. Anyways, somebody could have let me know that I've been singing. I've been posting too. I've been like just shouting to the masses. This ain't Tulsa, 1967. And I have been wrong the entire time. And now that the cast album is out, I know that. And let me just say, since we're talking about it, if you haven't listened to the Outsiders cast album yet, go and do it, unless you're waiting to see the show first, which I completely respect because I get you. There's two types of people in the Broadway world. The kind of person who doesn't want to know what's going on in the show. They don't want to see any spoilers. They will not watch a bootleg, and they will not listen to the cast album before they've seen it. And then there's the complete opposite Broadway fan who consumes every piece of content that they possibly can before seeing a show. Now, I have been both, but I understand both sides completely. That being said, if you're of the latter half, you want to consume the content, this album is so good. And there are so many songs that I have been just ready to be able to listen to whenever I want. Honestly, like the number one song is I was under the impression you never read a book at all. The one with Cherry and Pony Boy. These hours go like minutes. I could talk to you all night. I love that song. Wait, no, I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to be crazy, but I just had a thought. I'm like, it would be a really, really beautiful wedding song. But then it's like kind of saying that like I would think that my fiance can't read. So maybe not. Wait, I kind of want to do it now. Just imagine everybody's faces at my wedding when we get out for our first dance. And the first thing as I say is I was under the impression you never read a book at all. Okay, I have to do it now. Oh my God, I need to pull it together. Okay, that's so funny. I'm doing that. But it's a beautiful song. Like the emotion behind it is beautiful and it's so lyrical and it would be a great first dance song. That's great. I'm definitely doing that. Okay. Bring it back together. Back to the Broadway grosses, everybody. Oh wow. I'm shocked to see A Beautiful Noise is shortly below The Outsiders. When are they closing? Let's look it up real quick. Must end June 30th. So they're trying to recoup in their last few weeks on Broadway. Guys, I'm recording this episode way later than I typically do. So I'm sorry if it's crazy. Okay, cool. Let's get on into our Broadway news of the week. Do we need to touch on anything else in the grosses? Heart of Rock and Roll is at the bottom. You know, can't say that I'm all that surprised. I am somewhat surprised to see that Patriots is right there at the bottom with them. I just haven't heard hardly anything about Patriots. I don't know anybody who's seeing it. Interesting. All right, then let's head on into our Broadway news of the week. Okay, to start off our Broadway news, we got word. This was overlooked last week because Brendan and I had to talk about Darren Criss. But we got word last week that George Clooney, y'all, is headed to Broadway. Could they have said a bigger name headed to Broadway? This next season is so star-studded. I mean, right now it's really star-studded too, but there's so much coming up. What with Romeo and Juliet, that's going to be a humongous hit, and it's got Rachel Zegler and Kit Connor. And then we've got Denzel Washington and Jake Gyllenhaal, and then we have this. So it is going to be a really high dollar season because of all of the celebrities, but that's okay. So George Clooney is making his Broadway debut, which is kind of hard to believe, but congratulations to him. So his Broadway debut is going to be in a stage adaptation of Good Night and Good Luck. So this is a movie that came out in 2005, and it was written? Yeah, it was written by George Clooney and Grant Heslov, and the two are getting back together. They're teaming up once again in order to produce this Broadway show. And George Clooney has said I'm going to be in it. All right. Awesome. Awesome for George Clooney. What kind of Hollywood actor wouldn't want to make their Broadway debut? I feel like it's such like a bucket list item to check off. And plus, I feel like it makes you a true seasoned actor. And, you know, George Clooney, certainly a good actor, but now he is an actor. A seasoned actor. This episode's unhinged. Okay. Okay, so what is this about? Because I've never seen this movie. I've never even heard of Good Night and Good Luck. But to quote the New York Times article, it says, quote, Clooney will play Edward R. Murrow, the pioneering newscaster whose storied broadcast career in the mid-20th century made him a journalism icon. That role was played by David Stratham in the film. The article goes on to say, quote, Good Night and Good Luck portrays the period when Murrow's work brought him into conflict with Senator Joseph R. McCarthy, the Republican of Wisconsin, who became notorious for the excesses of his anti-communist crusade. Okay. I guess I need to see the movie. I can't ascertain anything from this article. For me, it sounds boring. But maybe it's good. I don't know. It's gonna sell out. It's got George Clooney at the helm of it, so there's no doubt that it will be a Broadway success. And to be honest, when a humongous celebrity is in a play, do we really care that much about the content of the play? Okay, I know we do. But quite possibly one of the most boring pieces of theater I have seen was Danny and the Deep Blue Sea. But was it made amazing because it was Aubrey Plaza? Yes, it was. And I didn't like totally hate the play. It just was like kind of a nothing piece. I feel like I'm going to get crucified for that. But because it was Aubrey Plaza, people were paying $400 for a ticket, and you left the theater and you're like, awesome, I saw Aubrey Plaza. Like, that was awesome. That was great. And so, like, I don't know. I'm not going to judge this because maybe it's amazing and maybe I need to watch the movie. But for me, it sounds like it's for old men. Okay, that's that. Moving right along. Congratulations, George, on your Broadway debut coming spring 2025. Okay, we got some very exciting Broadway news this week that How to Dance in Ohio is going to be making a UK debut. Yeah! There is life in How to Dance in Ohio once again. I am so incredibly happy to be reporting that. I knew it wasn't the end of the line for them. I just knew it, and I hope it does excellent over at the UK. We do know that this production is going to be an all-new cast, which, like, low-key heartbroken. I saw on Liam Pierce's story, he was like so excited to see the next person who steps into Drew's shoes. And I'm like, Liam, like, it's just you. It'll always be you. Like, you're Drew. But I wonder why they've decided to make it an all-new cast. Maybe it's in an effort of, you know, creating a space for young adults with autism to be able to be on a stage. If that's the case, I freaking love it. But also, the original cast was just flawless and beautiful and fireworks and amazing. But I am excited for those future actors, and I know that they'll cast, you know, an all autistic cast, and so I am excited for those actors. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, I've been watching and waiting to see what the How to Dance in Ohio cast does next, and I want nothing but the best for them. I want to see their careers flourish. They had such an amazing opportunity, and they made, they all made their Broadway debuts in How to Dance in Ohio. And I don't want that to be it. I can't wait to see what they do next on Broadway. And anyways, I'm really excited about How to Dance finding new life over in the UK, and we will most certainly be following this story. Okay, guys, that wraps up this episode of From the Mezzanine. Thank you so much for listening. Wherever you are listening, if you have not already, go ahead and do it, all right? Just do this one simple thing for me, just to thank me for putting out this episode, entertaining you. You know, it's my pleasure. But if you want to show your support, please, wherever you are listening, leave me a review. It takes 1 sec. Give me a 5-star review and say, Lindsey, you're amazing. I need to hear it. Who doesn't like to hear that they're amazing, right? So please leave me a review wherever you're listening right now. Go and follow me on Instagram if you want to be the first to see the Bernadette Peters videos that go viral, okay? You can find me at @FromTheMezzanine_podcast or in the show links below. I'm also having a lot of fun over there on TikTok at Lindsey Stone Broadway. Guys, last thing I'm going to say, next week is our 100th episode. Be ready. Buckle up. It's going to be awesome. I have some surprises. And I'm so excited. Okay, I think that covers it all. If you are a Broadway bestie and you subscribe to the Patreon, go and meet me at the stage door for our after show chat. And for everybody else, I will see you next Tuesday. Bye.